When I think about Ogun State, I think of an hidden potential. I grew up here, I schooled here, and I've spent most of my days in Ogun State, so I'm quite, deeply connected to see the ecosystem grow. And every time I ask myself, what is happening to the tech ecosystem? Why are events not happening here? Why are things not bubbling here? Just as we have Lagos developing very fast. For me, I think we have everything we need. We just need to have the ecosystem developed. I traveled down to Lagos, for multiple tech events. And for me, event is where we get exposure, get to meet people, get to even, change my own mindset and the way I think about things. And I ask myself every single time, why is this not happening here? Ogun Digital Summit started just as a meetup when I was in school, brought students together. And something fascinating that happened then was students came from Apoli, students came from OU, students came from different institutions in Ogun State, all down to FUNAAB. And that was when we felt like, we need to do something bigger. The name Tech Summit FUNAAB, as at that time, could not justify the kind of audience that we had. And that was the beginning of something bigger. And that was what gave birth to, Ogun Digital Summit. The first edition of Ogun Digital Summit happened in 2020. And we announced publicity, telling people that we are, doing first edition of Ogun Digital Summit. And for us, we're expecting 300 to 400 people. So we decided to use Ogun Tech Hub as the venue. But surprisingly, we had over 1,600 people register for the event. And that was what forced us to look for another venue. And that was how we got to June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto in Abeokuta, which is one of the best venue for tech event now in Abeokuta. It was scary and exciting at the same time. But when the event actually happened, that day, I felt we are doing something that actually mattered. So the first edition of Ogun Digital Summit really inspired a lot of young people, and it gave them a better mindset, to see things that they've not had the privilege of probably seeing it happen before in Ogun State. And it gave them the idea that you necessarily don't need to leave Ogun State before you can pursue opportunities in the digital technology sector. And people were inspired by the stories of those who have already gone ahead, coming to share their own stories with them. So for us, people were inspired. People made decision on spot that I'm going to build career in tech. People had that mindset. And for me, when you don't see something, you can't aspire that thing. So when people saw the people already working in the tech sector, it kind of inspired them to want to do the same thing. So I would say that there was a lot of inspiration in the room and more energy for people to want to pursue building career in the digital technology sector. The early years, even the first 5 editions of Ogun Digital Summit, I would say it was very challenging. There was difficulty getting sponsors. People will think that with our passion, with our energy, and with the number of youth we are bringing together, we get a lot of government support, but that was not like it for us. It was very challenging.
We chose to sponsor or to be part of the sponsors for Ogun Tech Digital Summit because of its impact in Ogun State towards the youth and youth development.
2023 was the toughest year. I had just moved abroad. Settling in a new country, came with its own challenges. Coordinating the team remotely was very challenging. So it was very, very difficult to pull people together to get, when you are even on ground, it's hard to get sponsors. Now imagine you not being available. That was the toughest year for us for Ogun Digital Summit. And but one thing is we still did it and we did it well.
I've been attending from the very first edition, and for the 6th edition, first, second, third, fifth, sixth, I've always been there. I don't know how Victor always does it, and I don't know how he does his stuff, but every year he puts out something impactful, massive, with almost nothing.
At the very beginning of Ogun Digital Summit, our focus was to inspire young people to develop interest in building career in tech. Basically, we just wanted more talent to look at opportunities in tech. We want more designers, we want more developers, we want more people in marketing, we want more people in sales, we want more people in growth. We just want people to come and build career in tech. Because for us, we believe that if you want to develop any ecosystem, the first thing to address is talent. Without talent, there is no innovation. And it has evolved over time. For us now, the focus is drifting away from just focusing on talent to focusing on the innovators and the builders. It's high time we started supporting startup builders, people who are building innovations that will end up creating jobs for people. This has been a way for us to say that we are changing our focus from focusing on talent to now focusing on the innovators. And that is how we believe we can actually develop the ecosystem. I'm excited to see startups that have been part of ODS. Take for example, we have Fidia, who they've been part of Ogun Digital Summit. They were able to secure $100,000 in funding from ODX Accelerator. We are excited to see that they are here, they built here, and they even secure the funding while being here. I think that kind of give other builders that it is actually possible to build something great from Ogun State.
I was happy to have pitched a part of the top 6 startups in Ogun State, to have pitched to leaders in the ecosystem. And that was a very great experience. And that was, I can say, literally my first opportunity and shot at pitching. So we were able to meet quite a lot of people. And that was when the vision was really set that we have to build hustle and come back the following year. So subsequent years, we were there last year as well to showcase. We were there as an exhibitor, part of the startups that are building a system, and we were able to meet potential investors, which we're still even in talks with. So those are the great experience, and I love coming there with my friends. It's always fun to always see people and other things that are building in the ecosystem. It really shows that we are not just the only person doing something. Ideally, we would think that nothing else is happening here, but with ODS gathering the entire community from all walks of the region, it's really a banger. It's really a very great thing to see.
The person that will undo this stage setup.
ODS is more than an event, it changes lives. We've seen young people discover their career path coming to Ogun Digital Summit. We've seen families come together. We've seen founders joining accelerators and programs, getting connected to investors through Ogun Digital Summit. For me, this is personal. That's why we keep going, because every year, somebody's story begins here. One of my proudest moments was in 2022, when Her Excellency, Deputy Governor, attended our event for the first time. We were not expecting it. We were just doing our thing and hoping that one day the government will see what we are doing. That day, meant a whole lot for us. We've been privileged to also host, the likes of even people in the private sector, the co-founders of Piggyvest, the founder of Tribes, the Director General of NITDA, and even Senator Salisu, the current senator representing Ogun Central. So for me, we've attracted dignitaries and high-profile people even in the tech sector. And I think for me, that is one thing that shows that we are doing something meaningful. We are doing something that they also consider very impactful. Today, ODS has grown to become one of the leading tech conferences in Southwest. And we are not stopping there. I see a future where Ogun produce not just talent, but globally competitive startups. A future where startups get funding through Ogun Digital Summit every year. And in the next 3 to 5 years, we can have a unicorn built right here in Abeokuta. I see ODS shaping policy, inspiring more innovators, and proving that innovation has no zip code. We are building an ecosystem, one that lives beyond an event, the location, and just us. What I have learned starting Ogun Digital Summit and growing it to become one of the largest tech conferences in Southwest is if you stay long enough, you can achieve success in anything. So I think that it's more about playing the long-term game and staying alive to win. Ogun Digital Summit is not just my story. It's a story of state arising, community awakening, and a generation of people choosing to build here, not because it is easy, but because it is possible.